Ralph Nudi, and you're watching Get Real with Ralph. And today I have in my office slash studio slash makeshift, whatever you want to call it, Karen Bird from Burlington, Wisconsin. Karen is a performance hypnotist or a hypnosis therapist, depending on how you want to categorize it. And we came into contact with each other because both of our sons were involved in the sport of wrestling. Her sons, she had 3.
Yes.
And I have 4. At the time, I had 3 that were involved in the sport. And she was doing performance coaching for athletes. And so I had my son go to her and work on his mindset. And one of the subjects that I'm very interested in is mindset, the mindset mentality, having a positive mental attitude. I believe it is the single biggest hurdle to people not being successful, or the single biggest step up to people becoming successful in life. And so I wanted to feature Karen today, and we wanted to talk a little bit about mindset, why mindset matters. We wanted to talk about positive mental attitude, and we wanted to talk about several other subjects in those arenas and how those can help you, if you're out there, achieve anything that you want to achieve in life. So with that, I'm going to introduce Karen. Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up doing hypnosis.
Well, I got started in hypnosis. I have a background in psychology, but I started in hypnosis because I had learned about hypnobirthing.
Okay.
And I thought that sounded interesting and decided that I wanted to birth our 3rd child using hypnobirthing.
So you just will a child to happen and they do? Or do you still have to do all the old-fashioned stuff first?
All the old-fashioned stuff. So really just releasing the fear, removing the fear, so you go into birthing calm and natural.
Okay.
Using self-hypnosis.
Okay.
And then that worked so well that I became a hypnobirthing practitioner.
Okay.
Was certified out in Connecticut. And after that, for a year, I realized the power of the mind. If you can birth a baby quietly and naturally and in your own birthing body, is what we say,
yeah,
then that power of the mind is so strong, because we have been conditioned to believe that birth is painful.
Right.
And when you can get through that by using that mindset technique, you can birth a baby without a word. Wow. And it's easy and natural, and it's the way your body's supposed to work, by just trusting your body.
Well, if I was ever going to birth a baby,
you'd give me a call.
I would give you a call.
Right?
But
right?
that would, I think that would take more than mindset for me to do that. But
no, you'd be fine. I'm serious.
No, I mean more than mindset for me to.
To have the baby.
Yeah.
Right.
But all joking aside, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yes. That you would want to have your mind calm, and you would want to be focused on the positive outcome, which is a healthy baby coming into this world. And if you can put all of your focus and effort on that instead of on the pain that you're afraid of enduring, I imagine the process would be considerably more enjoyable.
Yes. Yes.
Have you seen people actually enjoy giving birth as a result?
I have. I teach hypnobirthing classes.
Okay.
Also. And so those are 4-session classes, but I have attended quite a few of the births.
So that must be like Lamaze on steroids, huh?
Kind of, yes. Well, it's very quiet because they're not really responding or doing anything. They're just staying in that calm place that we get into when we're in hypnosis.
Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
I think that these hypnosis comedians probably play on that. And
for sure.
Is it real when hypnosis comedians go up and they put people in a state of trance and have them do absolutely screwy things?
It is.
It
is real.
Okay.
But like I tell everyone, it's because the people they choose from the audience are comfortable acting goofy in front of a crowd.
Okay.
So I know me personally, I wouldn't volunteer to go up there and pretend like I was hot and stinky and all that stuff, because I don't like being the center of attention. But the people that they choose are the ones in the crowd saying, pick me, pick me.
Sure.
So they have the techniques and they know what it takes to get someone that's comfortable allowing themselves to get into that very relaxed state, where that critical conscious mind is relaxed, and they'll get that subconscious mind to just listen to the instructions given.
So you'd have to be predisposed to being the class clown and at the same time know how to relax and give up control.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so you'll see that they will take 50 people in the beginning, and then they'll send some back to their seats. Those are the ones that weren't comfortable allowing themselves to get into that state.
Sure.
So clinical hypnosis is different, because in the office environment, you're trusting and you're comfortable, and if you feel safe, you allow yourself to get into that state. So it's very different in that way.
Okay, all right. Of course, I've been under hypnosis before with Karen, full disclosure. So this is not something that is new and scary to me. And some of the questions I'm asking, I kind of feel like I may know the answers to, but I know that you do a much better job of explaining it. I am a big believer in the mindset theory, that if you believe and conceive, whatever the mind can believe and conceive, it can achieve.
Yep.
And I truly believe that the biggest obstacle to people's success is their own mind and their own fear that stops you from being everything that you want to be. And I would say, even myself, that anytime that I haven't achieved what I want, if I go back and analyze and look at it, anytime that I've had a failure in life, it was fear that caused that failure.
You're so right.
And that was very big for me because it probably took me 45 years to figure that out. And sometimes I see people figuring that out at 10. And the mind is such a powerful thing. If a 10-year-old has that mindset, if an 8-year-old, if a 19-year-old has that mindset earlier on in life, I think that is part of the reason that you'll see people achieve success at different stages in their life, whether it be you're Macaulay Culkin and you're making it at 8, or you're Colonel Sanders and you're making it at 80. That is the point in their life when they decided to be fearless. And so I've decided to be fearless.
I love that.
It's a great feeling.
And look at what you're doing.
I feel like I'm doing some significantly powerful things that I've never done before in my life. And
getting unstuck.
I'm surrounded by people whose lives are governed by fear still, because most people are. And it's really hard when you have somebody else out there who is a doubter of what you're doing, and they're trying to tear that down, and really they are subconsciously replanting those seeds of fear back in you. And that happens for so many different reasons. The people around you may love you very much, but they may be afraid of your success.
Yes.
The people that are around you may be afraid of your failure and you being hurt. The people that are around you may be afraid of being embarrassed if you fail. And so their fear can become your fear again and hold you back, and blocking that out, but doing so with power and with love, so that you're not letting them drag you down, but you're not approaching them aggressively, I think has always been a challenge for me as well. Do you find that that's a challenge for people, balancing what other people think with what they really know in their mind they want to achieve?
I do. Although when you think of the power of the mind, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And the mind has a tendency to replay negative and to take more of those thoughts and leave them negative. So when you learn the power of the mind and how powerful it is, when you can pay attention to your thoughts and you can reframe the pictures in your mind and the visualizations and the blueprint of your future, as opposed to replaying the negative, and doing this through hypnosis makes it more effective, then you no longer are replaying what others have said and others' beliefs, and we call them limiting beliefs. And you're now working on your own beliefs, your own visualizations, and your own goals. And so when you learn how to harness the power of the mind, things change for you.
That's great. I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. If you guys are watching, you're fans, make sure you comment and put hashtag Gary V or something in there so that he knows we're talking about him. But I didn't even, here's the funny thing, I didn't even know that this guy, and I just told you about him, and that's the thing about being famous in the digital world, is you can be famous to a segment of the population. The rest of the population doesn't even know you exist. And that's what happened with me. And he talks a lot about, that once you know you're doing the right thing, you might have to eat shit for 5 years or 10 years and just keep powering through it with that faith in yourself that you're going to come out the other end. And that's when the people around you really start to get scared.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's where I am right now. And so that fear keeps creeping back in my mind. And I want to get rid of that fear. I want to make sure that I have a fearless approach to creating content on video. My goal when creating video is to educate, entertain, and inform people. And in doing so, I believe, and also to elevate and to highlight people that I think are worthy of being listened to. And I think by doing that, people will find that I'm worthy of being listened to. And that by doing that, I create influence in a very, very positive way, not in a superficial way. Everybody talks about social media influencers now, and people are getting paid to hold up a bottle of water because they're pretty and they're in a bunch of pictures. And I'm talking about something on a much deeper level than that. But I am talking about creating influence on a deep level. I would rather be influencing 100 people at a very deep level and helping them than be an influencer of 1 million people, but those 1 million people are just watching for a couple of seconds because it's the cool thing to do.
Right.
And that's that's a tough thing, but that'll help me achieve all the other goals that I want to achieve in my business.
Right.
I always wanted to be an entertainer. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a musician, I wanted to be a singer, and I wanted to be an actor. Fear held me back from that. And if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have packed my bags, told my mom and dad goodbye, got on a train, got in a car, got on a plane, whatever it is, went to New York, went to Hollywood, went somewhere, and I would have ate shit, waited tables, cleaned toilets, did whatever it did. I had this gift when I was 18 that I looked like I was 12. I didn't know it was a gift at the time. I thought it was a curse.
Right, yes.
Now, child labor laws wouldn't apply to me even though I looked like a child. I probably could have got some work pretty quick. And instead, I went the safe route because parents are always telling their kids to do what's safe. And I find myself, as a parent of 6 kids, 2 of them now as young adults, I find myself, hey, turn that off over there. Okay. I find myself as a young adult, or as a parent of young adults, having that same fear where I want to tell my kids to play it safe.
Right.
Go to college, do something practical. That's what we've been conditioned to tell our kids as parents. But my gut tells me that that's not the right thing to teach your kids.
Face your fears.
My gut tells me to tell your kids and tell yourself, face your fears, find your passion, chase your passion with absolutely everything you've got.
Yep.
And if you do that long enough and hard enough and fearlessly enough, and you blow out those candles of self-doubt, those flames of self-doubt as they ignite themselves, if you just keep blowing them out, that you'll get to where you want to go.
Yeah. And I love that. And that's where hypnosis helps, because you can visualize where you're going to be and then face those fears. So
Sure.
That's great.
One of the most important books that I read in my life that helped me get to this mindset was the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Have you read it?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
And it was written during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And this man was charged by, was it Andrew Carnegie or was it?
Dale Carnegie.
No, Dale
I think it was
Dale
Andrew
Carnegie is the
Carnegie.
speaking.
Yes, I think it was Andrew.
Yeah, U.S.
Yes.
Steel guy. He was commissioned by him to write a book on success and give an introduction to the most successful people of his day, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. And what he did is he went and he found the one thing that they all have in common, and he said, if you pay attention, this secret to their success will reveal itself to you, and he never named it.
Yeah.
But he created a blueprint for the steps you should follow in pursuit of that secret.
Right? They're the principles.
Yep.
Yep.
And years later, Rhonda Byrne wrote the book The Secret. And I think that The Secret did a better job of identifying what that it was, which is really this fearless mindset. But it didn't do as good of a job of showing the blueprint, but she brought together the famous people, the successful people of our day. And when I read both those, I think they're both timeless classics. And they talk about mindset. But even after you read those books, I think a lot of people go, okay, well, how? How do I get my mind right? You've got Tony Robbins out there, and Tony Robbins talks a lot about it's not just a positive mental attitude. It's applying leverage to that positive mental attitude. It's not just about thinking positive, but it's about thinking about your solutions and acknowledging your problems are there and saying, okay, here are the solutions to each problem, and coming up with your 10 solutions and then taking action.
Right.
And most people will, even when they start reading those books, they become mentally constipated. I know I did. I read Think and Grow Rich 15 years ago, and I didn't become a millionaire the next year. I didn't even grasp those concepts the first couple of times I read it. I went back and read it 6 months ago, and it was a completely different experience reading it.
Yep.
And I listened to it, and I find that for me, listening to a book is I have ADD to the max. I do. I'm doing 15 things at once. The only way for me to really absorb a book is to actually buy it on audio and buy the visual and put the headset on and read it, so that my mind can't be distracted by anything visually or audially while I'm doing that. I don't know if any of you ever have a hard time reading a book. I can tell you it's the best way to do it. actually coached my wife through doing that when she had to read the Odyssey in college, which is a very tough read. And that's what I practice when I'm going to go read a book. So leave me alone for the next 3 hours because I'm reading, that's how my mind works. It might not be how everybody else's mind works. But mindset, I think, is the most important thing. And if you don't work on mindset on a regular basis.
Yes, and I tell my athletes that. So my niche is working with athletes.
Right.
And that I can help you with the tools and techniques. We can change your mind. We can get you the confidence. But your mental muscle is the same as your physical muscles.
You have to exercise
So the more you lift weights, the stronger you get. The more you practice your sport, the better you get. Same with your mind. So you can take a pathway of the least resistance, the way we used to think, or you can strengthen it by practicing it, and it gets stronger, and all of a sudden your reality is what you were thinking.
And when you start to do these things and you face a big challenge or a big adversity or a big setback, anytime you have a trauma in your life, you go to your muscle memory.
Yes.
It includes your mental muscle memory. And what happens is you can learn a new habit, but your mind is going to automatically shift to an old habit if you haven't practiced the new habit over and over and over again enough.
Right, or healed whatever that trauma was.
Or heal whatever that trauma was.
Yes.
But I mean, if a new trauma comes, if something new comes and jars you loose, it's like fight or flight. You automatically go to your instinctive reaction that you've conditioned yourself to do over the years. So if you spent 30, 40 years conditioning yourself or being conditioned to react to stimulus in a certain way, and you've learned a new technique, that new technique can suddenly go out the window when you've been angered, when you've been hurt, when something has happened. And that is the hardest time to stay on that. And I think that's where most people get derailed. Would you say that that's true?
Absolutely. Although, like I say, if you use the techniques and you use the power of your mind, when your belief is larger than your doubt, then you can fly through that.
And
then you
that's
can
where,
work through that.
And that's where hypnosis comes in, because hypnosis becomes the workout.
Yes.
The mental workout that you do on a daily basis.
Right.
Now, do I have to hire a hypnotist every day to help me get there?
No, because what we do is we teach self-hypnosis.
Okay.
So after some sessions where you're comfortable with it, you know how to get into the state. It's actually a brainwave state.
Okay.
It's the state right before sleep or when you wake up in the morning.
Okay.
When you learn how to get to that state, you can then do self-hypnosis. So
Okay.
then we will teach you self-hypnosis so you can use these tools and techniques forever. And sometimes you need to come in for a tweaking, but
Sure.
in most cases, if you're religious with it, it changes your life.
Now, you told me something in our first session that always stuck with me. You said that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Yes.
You want to expand on that?
So you will not allow yourself to get into a hypnotic state unless you're completely relaxed and comfortable and feel safe. So I can't get you into a relaxed state unless you're safe and you feel good. So really it's self-hypnosis because you're allowing that to happen.
Okay.
And it really is a state that I'm just guiding you into, but you can do it on your own at any time.
Okay.
By just learning how to do it and how it feels when someone guides you, then you just guide yourself.
I've agreed to share with all of you what the process actually looks like in a real demonstration here, which means that I'm going to have to share with Karen in front of the audience some of my hopes and dreams and maybe even some of my fears, and most people aren't willing to do that. And I've decided to do that today because I think that if I'm willing to do this publicly in front of you, my audience, that you will be less afraid to engage in this. And so we've agreed to go through the exercise of me getting very personal with Karen and with maybe millions of other people. And it's very hard to get personal with millions of people. And I'm going to try to get into a state of hypnosis with my producer, Ray, standing in front of me behind these cameras with sound rolling, with lights on me, and with cameras rolling. So it's going to take me probably a little more concentration, a little more time to get there. And I can't guarantee that I'm going to completely get into a state of hypnosis, but I sure as hell am going to try, because I think that it's a valuable exercise that may help those of you watching from home, watching from your car, watching from your iPhone, watching from your computer, watching from your smart TV. And hopefully this will motivate, this will inspire you to work on your mindset, because really what Get Real with Ralph is all about is raising challenges and helping people overcome those challenges. Yeah. So with that, what I want to do is kind of pretend these cameras aren't here.
Okay.
And You can ask me anything as personal as you want. And we're going to share this between the two and hopefully someday the 2 million of us that are doing this.
Okay.
So,
and what I love is that you are practicing self-hypnosis. So you are using the techniques that we went through 6 months ago, was it? Or even a year ago.
I got to be honest, I've fallen off the wagon. That's why you're here.
Okay, well, good. Well, we're going to get you back to that place
Okay.
where you really use the techniques and tools to change your life. And you have, because I remember in our session, you had a dream of doing what you're doing now. You want to be a teacher. You want to help others. You didn't want to just sell houses.
Right.
And you're doing exactly what you did. And part of that is because you manifested it.
I
and
did.
so you are using the tools, even though you may not recognize it. So
Well,
we're gonna
thank
go
you.
through some of that.
Thank you. I'm going to set my water down here.
Okay. So I want to preface this by all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and there's different levels of what we call trance, but it's really hypnosis.
Okay.
Where even though you're not in the deep trance, because this might not be the ideal environment for you, you still will allow yourself to get into a relaxed state.
Okay.
And when you close your eyes and get into a relaxed state, you're relaxing that critical conscious mind, the one that's always thinking and trying to criticize and critique things.
Okay.
When you allow that mind to relax, we can work with the subconscious.
Okay.
And that's what it is. So just relaxing, even though you're not in that deepest level, will still be beneficial for you.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get
I'm
started.
ready when you are.
I am
Okay.
ready. So do you have questions that you need to ask me so that we have my affirmations? What are we...
Why don't you give me 3 affirmations, positive, present tense, subconscious does not hear future. 3 affirmations of what you want to be, do, or have right here, right now. But you can think of it in the future. It just has to be presented in the present tense. So I am a millionaire, whatever that is, whatever your goals are.
I am a force for good and an inspiration to thousands of people. How's that?
Awesome.
Gotta get there.
Okay. So tell me where you see yourself 5 years from now.
I see myself 5 years from now informing people all over the country and all over the world on the tools needed to be successful. I see myself as still being a valuable resource to people that are buying and selling homes all over the country. I see myself as an expert in branding, in marketing, and having the ability to market any service or any product that I believe in to the masses. That includes homes, but that also includes other people who sell homes. That includes hypnosis therapists who I believe in, and I want to elevate them and brand them so people see them. I want to make people famous.
Love it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to have absolute freedom to live and be anywhere that I want in this world in the moment. And last but most importantly, I want to leave a legacy with my own family, with my own wife and children, that allows them to be the best versions of themselves that they can be, to be fearless, to be powerful, to be successful, and to be valuable to those around them. Wow.
And so that's awesome. So
That's,
much of that is what they see in you. So I love that. So as you can see, as you were giving me your goals, it's I want to be and I will. So subconscious doesn't hear will and want.
Okay.
So as I wrote those down, just for yours, and I will give you these later, so you can say these every day in the morning when you wake up. Subconscious mind, you're actually in a hypnotic state in the morning. So reviewing and reciting these goals are very effective to retraining pathways.
Okay.
But as you can see, you said, I want to make people famous.
Okay.
And I wrote, I make people famous.
Okay.
So how that subconscious understands that is it's happening here and now, It can't tell the difference between future and present.
Okay.
So you're going to instill these ideas, these goals, into as if it's happening right now.
Do I need to quantify the money part in order for it to be? I mean, that's one of the things that
Smart goals.
in Think and Grow Rich,
Yes.
it says you have to have a specific dollar
Yes.
amount in mind. Do you find that to be true?
It is more effective. So we talk about the SMART goals,
Okay.
and those are the measurable goals and the
That's one of the hardest.
specific.
That's one of the hardest things to. But in full disclosure, I want to share. So I'm trying to
Okay.
think. That's one of the hardest things for me to wrap my mind around is how much is enough.
Well, so
How
in
do I
the
set? How do I
office-
set that number?
Well, so in the office, we would definitely do more specific goals.
I'm
Let's
willing to be specific.
let's do your goal just for next year. What is your financial goal for next year? And it doesn't mean that it's money that you just hang on to. It's money, income that you share with others. So what is your income goal for next year?
For this time a year from now,
Yep.
$80,000 monthly.
I love it. So
I can help
would
a
it
lot
be
of people.
I gross 80,000 monthly?
Yes.
Okay. So again, positive present tense, as if it's happening
Eight-
right now, as if you're doing it right
83,300. Yeah,
83.
83. Yeah.
now. 83,333?
Yep. You know why that is, right?
No, I don't.
That's
Tell me.
$1 million annually.
Oh, I love it that you know that. That's great. I'm going to use that. Okay, so I gross 83,333 monthly.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. I'm ready when you are.
All right, guys. Here
Okay.
goes.
And if any of you out there want to get relaxed and do this as we are working through Ralph's goals, feel free, because you can do this on your own too.
In the video description on the bottom of this video, I will make sure that in the beginning, in the middle, somewhere in the end, that we have Karen's contact information. Karen has an email address that you can just email general questions about the process, correct?
Sure. Or my website.
Karen has a website. Yeah, we'll get that out there. Ray, we'll make sure we put that out there, ways to get a hold of Karen. And we're even talking about maybe having a little Ask Karen Q&A session on a regular basis as we go live later on. And I think that would really, really help people. So we're working on some stuff to help those of you out there without you having to actually go out and hire a hypnosis therapist. How do you reach that? Because we're about educating here, and
I love that.
we talked a little bit before we started this today's show on how we're going to attack that. And by the time it's all done here, I'll make sure that I have that info at the end of this video for you, so that you know how to ask Karen questions in several different ways, whatever it is you use, whether you're a Facebook person, a Twitter person, email, that you can ask Karen general questions in a public forum where she can provide answers to you. All right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna roll my neck here. Those close to me know that I always roll my neck when it hurts. That my best friend out there knows that the word hole 6 has some significance. We'll talk about that someday.
Okay. So you can either, you'll find that as you get more relaxed, your head will kind of droop. So you can either start with your head down, or you can just have it neutral as it falls as you get more relaxed. So whatever is more comfortable for you.
Ray, make sure before we start this, if there's anything you need to do with these cameras, try and do it, because you're moving around. It's distracting the shit out of me, pal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I wanted to, I thought that'd be funny on camera too. But so I'm saying double and triple check. If you need to restart something, because some of our cameras are like 20-minute increments, I would probably start and restop that one right there. That way we got a full 20 minutes before he has to touch anything.
Perfect.
All right. Is the battery good?
I can't see. Let me see. I believe so. It don't show me.
Okay, good. All right. We need 20 minutes here, right? Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to have you start, though, by picking a spot in the ceiling and staring at it.
Okay.
Okay. And just go ahead and start by taking a deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds.
1 second. Are we able to dim any of these lights and still get decent? This is tough. I know.
These lights? Yeah, you know what?
Hey, Ray, come around and shut one of these off, and let's see how we look on camera. It might be tough for those of you at home to watch, but okay, we're still pretty good, right? All right.
Okay.
There we are. All right.
So just go ahead.
Okay.
Pick that spot on the ceiling and stare at it.
All right.
And take a deep breath. Hold it for a few moments. And exhale. I'm going to have you do that 3 more times. Deep breath. Hold it. Your eyes begin to feel dry. Exhale. And tired, but keep those open until that third deep breath. And this time as you exhale, just slowly close your eyes and relax your entire body. You can move and adjust at any time through this process. That's perfectly okay. There you go. So just feel your breathing. Relaxed, slow, deep, and even. Paying attention to your breath as it slips down through your body. I'm going to speak to your unconscious mind, so you don't need to pay a lot of attention to what I'm saying. Your unconscious mind will listen independently without you even needing to know you're listening. So just go ahead and listen and take the suggestions that will help you find the greatest value for what you're here to achieve. You don't need to strain to remember what I say. Your unconscious mind will make notes and use the ones that have the most value for you. So just let all of my suggestions go deeply into your unconscious as you begin to relax. And just sit there and listen and relax whatever rate is comfortable for you. It can be as slow or as fast as you choose. And the more you seek a sense of self-control, the easier it will be for you to simply let go of tension and relax. This is your state. You've created it. You can lighten it or deepen it at will. So just sit back and listen to the sound of my voice as you go deeper. And every sound, every noise that you hear, whether it's outside or in this room, it just brings you a little deeper each time you hear one. You may even hear the sound of your breathing. And now just for the next few moments, let go, release, and relax. And just imagine a warm, white light starting at the top of your head, relaxing all the little worry lines in your forehead. And now relax all the muscles in and around your eyes. And feel that warm light move down your cheeks and into your mouth. You may even feel a space between your teeth as you relax your jaws. And relax your neck. Moving down your shoulders as they sink into the frame of the chair. Slow, deep, and even. And now your chest relaxes as you pay attention to your breathing one more time. It feels good to just let go. You may feel that you have a need to swallow. That's perfectly okay. Or your eyes may flicker and flutter ever so lightly. That's an excellent sign of just letting go. And your stomach relaxes. And now your arms relax all the way down your elbows into your forearms, your wrists, and even your fingers. And feel that relaxation move down now your upper back, down your spinal column into your lower back. Feeling peaceful and calm. And your hips relax all the way down your legs, into your knees and your calves, your feet, and even your toes. And just feel that wave of relaxation as you imagine a calming, tranquil color moving down your body from your head down to your toes. And as you feel your feet on the ground, you may even feel as though there are roots growing into the ground, grounding you, relaxing you. With every breath you take, you feel more relaxed. You may even feel very heavy or very light. The heaviness feels as though you are sinking into the chair, and the lightness feels as though you are buoyant, floating freely. You may feel a tingling in your fingers or toes. It's perfectly normal as your nervous system slows down. And now imagine you are lying in a beautiful field of greens, or even on the bottom of a boat, whichever you choose. And as you look up into the beautiful blue sky, you realize you feel the warm sun on your face and the cool breeze in your hair. And then you look up in that blue sky and you see some white fluffy clouds floating by. And as they pass, they clear your mind of all outside thoughts, setting aside the next few moments to just visualize and energize your goals for your future. So I'd like you just to take one more deep breath as you breathe energy into your goals. And as you release and relax, breathe your breath into a picture of your future. As I begin to count now, 5, more and more relaxed, going into the future, 6 months or maybe even a year, you choose. 4, deeper and deeper into your inner self. 3, into your place of wisdom. 4, beginning to feel a deep level of satisfaction as you reach and begin to attain your goals. And 5, deeply relaxed, embracing the responsibility that it takes to reach your goals as you step into your goals of the future. And look through your own eyes now into the future and see yourself as you have achieved your goals. Feel it and sense it. Smell it and taste it. That goal of grossing $833,333 a month. Embrace it. It's yours. Take it, touch it, and feel it. Look through your own eyes as you look and see when you begin to achieve those goals. And now see the last thing that has happened for you as you realize you have achieved that goal. See what you're seeing, hear those around you, and feel that inside you. This is your truth and your reality. What your mind believes, you will achieve. And now notice the action steps you've taken to get there. Notice your attitude, your beliefs, and what you truly value. Helping others reach their goals. Notice the skills and the knowledge and the tools you've learned to achieve this goal. And now as you continue to relax, remaining in this very deep hypnotic state, I'd like you just to imagine, as we talked about earlier, we talked about fear, sometimes holding you back. I want you to imagine that fear is an obstacle in front of you. And tell me, Ralph, what does that fear look like? Tell me the color of that fear. Red. Okay. And tell me how large that fear is.
It's a big brick wall.
A cement brick wall, and it's red.
Big brick wall.
Big brick wall. And is it cold or is it hot?
It's cold.
It's cold. Okay. And if you were to get through that fear and push through to reach that goal that you've already visualized, that's become your truth, your reality, what would you do to get over, around, or through that big brick cement wall?
I'm going to smash it.
You're going to smash it. What are you going to smash it with?
I'm going to get a big truck and drive it through it.
A big truck and drive it through. That's awesome. And when you do, what happens to that wall? Does it fly off and disappear into space? Does it crinkle? Does it just melt? What happens to that wall when you drive through it with your truck?
Turns into thousands of bricks laying on the ground that I can build something with.
I love it. So you're going to take those resources and build something with those bricks. And from this moment forward, any time that self-doubt or that fear creeps in, you just take that dump truck and drive through that wall, getting you closer and closer to your goals each and every day. And as you come back to now, coming back to the present, notice the milestones you've accomplished on the way to reaching those goals. And now notice the steps you've taken tomorrow to achieve these goals. And before you come back to the room, as my words become your words, repeating after me, I am a force for good and an inspiration for thousands of people.
I am a force for good and an inspiration for thousands of people.
I am informing people all over the world on the tools needed to be successful.
I'm informing people all over the world on the tools needed to be successful.
I am a valuable resource for people buying and selling homes all over the country.
I'm a valuable resource for people buying and selling homes all over the country.
I am an expert at branding and manufacturing.
I'm an expert at branding and manufacturing and marketing.
Marketing. I make people famous.
I make people famous.
I have absolute freedom and love where I am at the moment.
I have absolute freedom and love where I am at the moment.
I leave a legacy with my family that allows them to be fearless, powerful, successful, and feel value.
I leave a legacy with my family that allows them to be fearless, powerful, valuable, and successful.
I love it. And as you can see, that subconscious mind always has your higher goals in line as we changed manufacturing to marketing.
I'm an expert at branding and marketing.
Very good. And as all of these truths, these realities, these visualizations become the blueprint for your future, accepting them, you become stronger and stronger every day. And when you come back, you will feel clear-headed, wide awake, realizing your potential to reach your goals as your subconscious digests all of these images and suggestions, becoming stronger and stronger every day. Beginning to come back to the room now as you reach your goals, accept your goals, and even exceed your goals. Coming back now, 5, beginning to feel some energy return to your body. 2, feeling some movement in your fingers and toes. 3, slowly coming back, motivated, determined, mentally tough, ready for the future. 4 and 5, when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back, feeling wonderful in every way. It may take them a few moments to return, because that is a state that just feels really good, and many times you don't want to come back to the reality of the present. So it just takes a few moments to come back and feel energy again.
It's like feeling like you stood up and you feel faint, so you sit back down again. You know what I mean? And what's weird is that I felt myself completely fall into this like super deep state, and then I kind of rose back up somewhere in there and realized I was here, but not completely.
Right?
And then I fell back in again.
Very normal.
And then I came back up. And so I was, let's say that the deepest state of hypnosis or trance is like a 10, like you're like 10 stories below the ground. And, ground level is where we are. Normally is where we started. Right now, I feel like I'm in the first floor below the ground still. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
But I felt myself get to like the 10th floor below and then come up to about the 5th floor and then back down to like the 8th floor and then back up to like the 4th floor. It was almost like an elevator ride, and the elevator kept opening almost, and I'm in different floors down below in this subconsciousness. But never did I really get to a 10. I probably got to like maybe 8. And then I kind of, between a 4 and an 8, kind of back and forth while we're going through that. Most of the time I say staying at like a solid 5 or 6.
Okay.
And then as you started talking to me about coming back, I immediately felt myself at about a 4.
Okay.
And then I just had to go from 4 to like 1, and now I feel like I'm in that stairwell between 1 and coming back. Like right now, I'm just talking about what's on my mind as this is happening, which is, it's so cool. I've never really put it in words as I was feeling it before.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that by doing
Good
that,
description.
that those of you who are watching realize, and this is real, guys. This is not like I just decided to pretend to be, and I didn't get up and like pat my head and rub my belly and do some crazy shit. I just really try to accept, where you were putting me and go there. And then you were talking about the outside noises, and I remember that just as a truck was beep, beep, beep outside. And because you said that right at the right time, it was about to distract me, and instead I used it. And it was so, it was.
That's the power of suggestion.
Yeah,
Really.
It's not like in the movies where you're like watching a watch and you suddenly you're in this trance where you're like walking around doing things that you don't know. It's really just a really deep guided meditation,
Yes.
I guess you could say.
And like you said, you have to allow yourself to get there.
Yeah.
I couldn't
and I don't know
make it.
if I hadn't been there before and I was doing this for the first time with all this distraction around, I don't know that I could have, but because I've practiced this in my everyday life, it helped.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things that you've done with me in past sessions, and no 2 sessions are the same.
Right.
But one of the things that you do is you plant a mnemonic device in people that every time you do X, every time, my son, it was every time you tie your shoes, you're going to think these 3 words.
Right.
For me, it's every time I touch my car door, because I'm in and out of my car every day. And so then I take and I use that and I practice that in my daily routines. And then I've stopped doing that for like the last 90 days.
Okay, so do that. That's
But
that anchor.
the funny thing is that as soon as we did this, I remembered the anchor from like 3 sessions back.
Yes.
So it is, if you do it over and over and over again, it's not just this session. I'm building on previous sessions that we've had before.
Yes.
And it's like an exercise. But I've been away from the gym, and now it's the new year, and I made a
back to
New
that.
Year's resolution, and this was like my return to the mental gym for the first time, and it's January 11th. So I made a New Year's resolution to really work on my mindset. And then I knew that you were coming on the show, so I knew that it was happening, and I probably should have started even practicing before this, but I didn't.
No,
But
you will.
I tell you what, just doing this has motivated me that yes, I need to do this, and in fact, I'm going to strip this part of the interview and make it into an audio and put some meditation music behind it.
Sure.
So thanks for the free session.
You're welcome. And I wanted to let you know, so your brick, your wall,
Yep.
your cement wall that you crashed through,
Yeah.
how did that feel?
Like at first I was going to try and smash through with my fists, and then I realized that's impractical. And I think that that's what people do is they think, hey, I'm going to just let my mind overcome everything. And the truth is that you let your mind help you find the tools to overcome everything.
Yes.
And so I started thinking, okay, wait, I need a tool. So I manifested the tool in my life.
Yep.
And that takes me back to I'm a person of faith. And there's this story that many, many preachers have told over the years, this parable about the man who is in the flood. And he says, God will save me. Have you've heard this story? Have you ever heard this story before, Ray?
No.
And so here, pull up a chair. Don't
Oops.
worry.
Water down.
Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Guys, this is Ray. He's the guy that's the man behind the camera. And so so what happens is there's a man of faith, and he believes that God is going to save him from everything, and he ends up living life in a flood. And the flood starts coming, and the flood waters rise to the point that he has to climb out of his house and onto the roof.
Okay.
He's on the roof, and the flood waters are rising, and a boat comes by. And the guy says, "Come on, get in the boat." He says, "No, I don't need a boat. God's going to save me." Yep. And then a little while later, flood rises a little bit more, and another boat comes by. And they're like, man, come on, come get in the boat. You're going to die if you stay here. And he says, no, trust me, I got a plan. God's going to save me. And then it comes a little higher, and he's on the very peak of the roof, and he's hanging out of the chimney. And this helicopter comes, and they drop a ladder, and they say, "Climb the ladder." He says, "No, I'm not going to climb the ladder. God's going to save me." And the flood waters rise, and the man drowns. Man of faith. And he gets to heaven. And he gets to the pearly gates, and he gets to meet God face to face. And he says, "Well, it must have been your plan for me to die, or I would have been saved." And God said, "I tried to save you. I sent you 2 boats and a freaking helicopter. Why didn't you climb aboard?"
Right? Save yourself.
And, you know, faith is a powerful thing, but you have to look at the entirety of it. And, you know, I think about that story often, and, you know, now you said, what's the obstacle? And I manifested this red brick wall in my mind. I saw clearly this red brick wall. And you said, is it warm or is it cold? I wasn't thinking about the temperature till you asked me. So then you asked me, and I saw this cold wall that if I touched it, it's freezing. But I was on a beach before that, okay? And because I hate being cold. For anybody that knows me well, I always complain about it being too damn cold. And so there's this cold wall in the middle of my warm beach, right? In the way of what I want. You know, keeping me from getting to the water. And it's all the way along. And so I go back up, and the funny thing is, I brought my mind back to my wife and I were on either a honeymoon or like a second honeymoon, and we were at a resort in Jamaica, and there's construction going on during our honeymoon, and hammers going on during our massage.
Probably because you heard that
Yeah.
truck out there
Yeah.
also.
During our massage, we're supposed to be getting a massage, and we said we want to get one outside under the tent instead of inside the salon. And they did it, but they didn't warn us that there's going to be construction going on. So here I am, and I got this, you know, this massage therapist working on myself, and my wife's getting her massage, and all I can hear is beep, beep, beep. And I was angry at first. I was really pissed. Why didn't they tell us? And then I let it go, and I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to, you're going to have to bleep that out because we're on YouTube, but you can keep it in for Facebook, okay? And so I let go, and suddenly I let that beeping kind of become part of my meditation because, you know, if you're getting a massage, you should be meditating kind of at least on your own level. And I thought about that brick wall, and I thought about that stupid freaking dump truck in Jamaica.
Yeah, and that's what your mind does.
And it goes back to
memories.
one of my real life experiences.
Yeah.
And I just said, I'm going to go get that truck. I'm going to smash that wall. But I know that my fears and my failures in my life are the tools that that I'm building my success on.
Yeah.
So I said, what are you going to do with it?
Yep.
And one of our past sessions, I said, I'm going to take all my negativity, I'm going to burn it in a furnace for warmth. Do you remember that?
Yes,
So
I
for
do.
me, there's something about hot and cold. One of my coworkers told me about the virtues of taking a cold shower every morning. I don't know if you've heard about this. And all of the health benefits of taking a cold shower. It's good for your skin.
Over.
It's good for your hair. It's good for your cardiovascular system because it makes you breathe deeper. It's a very, very healthy thing. Anthony Robbins, and I found out, jumps into a 54-degree pool of water every day, depending on which one of his mansions he's at. And I said, there's no way I'm not going to do that. Well, I have a video, and we got to produce it, of me actually taking a cold shower. It's a G-rated version. I make sure I got the camera up here, but I got in the cold shower and did it. But after that, I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing it longer and longer and longer. And I wrote on my mirror, do what you hate first. And so I get up in the morning and I do what I hate first because I hate being cold more than anything. So I put the knob all the way on cold, and I make sure that I have everything ready, my shampoo, my soap, my conditioner ready to go, because I ain't staying in there more than 3 minutes, all right? And when I first started doing it, I was finishing my shower in 20 seconds or less. But now what I'm doing is I'm breathing through that incredible cold.
Right.
And
That's what we do with birthing.
and I'm killing myself over it in the morning. And this morning I overslept. And I don't do it every morning. I'd like to, but some mornings I'm just like, I can't do this. I got to take a hot shower. I hate being cold. But this morning I overslept. And I love being in the shower when it's warm. So I took a cold shower. And I was in and out and about. But I forced myself to stay longer. And now I'm setting my timer on my phone for a full 2 minutes. And I stay until it beeps. And I can't wait for that phone to beep so I can get out of that shower. But what happens is, as soon as I get out, I feel when I get out, I look in the mirror, I look like a lobster, like I just took a hot shower. Because all the blood is rushing to your skin to fight this cold off, right? Well, it's winter in Wisconsin. I hate living in Wisconsin in the winter. It's the only thing I hate about living in Kenosha, Wisconsin is winter. I hate being cold. But I was already cold in the morning, the coldest I'm going to be all day. And the worst thing that happens to me every day is first thing in the morning.
And that's mindset.
And it's mindset. It's
There
like
you go.
nothing worse is going to happen to me today than taking this freezing cold shower. So for those of you that think it's nuts, I tell you, try it, but don't try it once. You got to try it about 10 times in a row before you do it. So I took this scalding cold, and it feels like it's scalding you, cold shower this morning so that I would be ready, and I got ready super fast because I had 20 minutes to get ready, get my kids, get them in the car, get them to school on time, and get here for the taping of this show, which we air it live on Mondays. We're going to start doing it live on Mondays in another month or so as soon as we upgrade our equipment and all that at 9 o'clock because that's the time that people watch, and
Perfect.
I think people like to watch stuff live. But so all that I brought with me into this.
Yeah, I
and
love it.
so the first time you do hypnosis, don't expect for it to work as well as it does if you do it over and over and over again. But I got the earbuds. I have it saved as an MP3 file in my iTunes. Thank you
Okay.
for that. And now I'll replace the old one with the new one. I'm not as good at self-hypnosis yet as I would like to be, but I would like to create an app for self-hypnosis where maybe we have a guided meditation from you to a certain place, but then you record your own affirmations. Imagine how powerful that could be.
That would be awesome.
So I think that's one of the things that maybe we can work on is a Karen and Ralph app for your phone for guided meditation. Maybe we could, I mean, obviously it's going to cost money to develop, so we'd have to offset that with maybe it costs $2 each or $3 each or whatever it happens to be. That's one of the things that I've thought about doing. And I don't even know if I'm going to put that on the show or not, but I mean, what the heck. So somebody else steals the idea, or so maybe somebody else already thought of it, but this is different because it's got Get Real with Ralph and Karen in it. But mindset is that important, that everything else that I talk about, everything else on this show, and we talk about tackling serious, difficult issues that are going on in our community and our world on a daily basis, and we do talk about the negative. We talk about the positive. We've talked about medical marijuana. We've talked about human trafficking. We've talked about everything on this show. We've talked about success. But the most important thing that you can do is go through everything in life, positive or negative, with a power mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
And I believe in that so much that I want to create a way to help people get into that mindset.
Yeah, I love that.
And I thank you so
welcome.
much. You have something you want to add, I know.
I did. I just wanted to say
look
that-
over there at that camera so they can see you right.
that one.
Talk right to
Okay.
our people there.
So working with athletes is very similar. We can work through mental blocks, just like you worked through your block of your cement wall. And with athletes, a lot of times they have mental blocks, and if you can go through that, they see themselves getting right through that wall, and that block is gone forever. So it is a permanent thing, and you constantly think back on how to get through it, and you just get through it. So it's pretty amazing. Your subconscious mind is all wise and all knowing. So
I am
very neat.
really happy that I jumped back in with you here. I'm really happy that I was scared to share it. I have to admit that fear of sharing yourself, and I'm sure that somebody somewhere might watch this and criticize me like $83,000 a month. Who needs that much money? Right? Or really, you're going to be an influence for millions of people. Get over yourself. You know, and there's going to be that negativity out there. And I tell you out there right now that don't do that for your own. For me, it doesn't matter. I can take it, but don't do that to yourself. All right. Don't limit your beliefs. When you limit what you think other people can do, you're limiting what you think you can do as well. And that is one of the toughest things. Is when you see people crushing it, when you see people being successful, cheer for them because that means you can do it too. That's the most important mindset that you can have. When you see somebody be successful, look at why, ask how, and ask what you can do to get there and role model and pattern that behavior. And when you know criticism is going to come, and I know that it is, welcome it because that criticism will make you stronger. And that's what this show is all about. That's what we're doing is all about is attacking issues head on. Thank you so much for being on this.
Thanks for having
This is
me.
going to be the first of many times that we collaborate together. I know that it is. If you want to get a hold of Karen for an actual private one-on-one session, either in person or we're going to talk about some remote sessions. So if you're in California and you want to work with somebody, you don't have to go find somebody right there. I'm telling you, Karen is your lady. She is fantastic. She has raised some tremendous athletes for children and kids who are very powerful. If you're looking for something for your child to help them break through those barriers as an athlete, if you're pregnant and you're looking for a way to get through birth, these are the things that you can look to Karen for. If you just want advice and you want a couple of emails about where to start, that's some value that Karen's willing to give you for free. Karen's going to give some value there. I'm going to make sure that if you go to go to my YouTube channel, even if you're seeing this on another medium, at Get Real with Ralph, and subscribe, because I'm going to have the video description in the bottom where you can find all the information that you want. If you're watching this on Facebook, I'll have it in there as well. And Facebook's a great place to get a hold of us, or if you've seen a snippet of this somewhere else. But go back to the main YouTube channel and subscribe, hit the little notification bell. We're going to be helping Karen create her own YouTube channel where she's going to be given some mindsets, and we're going to help her get over her own fear of just doing this. And because, this seems like it's a kid's game, YouTube. And really what I keep telling people is the average age of the YouTube user is increasing by 10 years every 3. The amount of content that people are consuming on the internet is becoming more and more video.
Right,
it's predicted that by the year 2020, which is now 11 months and 2.5 weeks away. In 11 months and 2.5 weeks, and we're already mostly there. 80% of the content consumed on the internet is video, and the reason for that is most of you are watching this probably on your phone, not on your computer, or you're watching on your television, not on your computer. And words and pictures and reading doesn't work on a phone or a TV set the way it works on a computer, so you can get the information instantaneously. That's why people are doing video.
Yes.
And so if you're interested in any of that, if you're interested in branding yourself, in marketing, anything like that, and you're trying to get hold of the big guys in it, and you can't get through them because they have millions of subscribers. I've got 10 of you so far, so you want to be number 11, that's great. Ask me questions. I want to add value to you. I'll tell you what I've learned. I told Karen right now I have a 4th grade education in branding and marketing on the internet, and she's a preschooler, so I'm 4 years ahead of her. Hopefully by the time she gets to 4th grade, I'll be at 8th grade, or maybe I'll be at the college level by then. But I'm constantly learning, and I'm a student of the game, and if you're a student of the game but you're further behind, come see me. I want to add value to you. I don't charge for that. I'm here to help you. And follow our information. Thank you for joining us and sharing your time with us, because time is obviously your most precious commodity. And please come back and give me more of your time, and I will give you more value on Get Real with Ralph. Thank you.
Thanks.